and welcome to Just Another Nerdy Podcast. I'm Dre. I'm Jay. I'm
Drizzt.
And I'm Drake.
Drake. I think I got confused because there's a lot of Drs in the room. A lot of doctor names ahead of me. So I'm Jay. Drizzt. Drake. Sorry. Welcome, newcomer Drake, to the show. Drake,
thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming. Like, I'm super excited. Okay, so, just in case you guys are curious, you can catch us live. We're going to probably push to noon. We're going to do a little experimenting on Twitch, but you can catch us live on Wednesdays on twitch.tv/JustAnotherNerdyPodcast. You can also watch us later on YouTube. You can see the whole thing. We like to put the podcasts over there. Just Google Just Another Nerdy Podcast and catch this mug and maybe that mug, and then we'll see if the panda mug will show up. And then, hey, you don't want to watch us on YouTube. You don't want to spend that much time. You got a nice long car drive. You got to mow the lawn. You can download us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Castbox.
Yeah, if that's your fucking speed.
If that's your fucking speed. You can put a little nerdy in your pocket.
I hate you.
So we're doing all sorts of long form content. We do interviews with different streamers. We do the podcast once a week. We've actually been working a lot on Scener. You can find us on Scener.com/jamp. And you can watch us watching movies. We watched Halloween a while back, which was fucking terrible.
It was awful.
And then we did The Flintstones, which was surprisingly, it holds up really well. Like,
does it?
Yeah, 1994 Flintstones is decent. So
dude, I fucking love John Goodman.
So we'll probably
Viva Rock Vegas.
That's the second one.
Is that that's not the one?
Not that
that's
one.
That's the good one.
It's the good one. It's the John Goodman one, because the guy in Viva Rock Vegas is like, he's the king in Game of Thrones, the Targaryen. Like, he's the guy who gets like murked right at the beginning, like the super badass king guy.
So like a diet John Goodman.
Yeah, diet John Goodman, who's also British. He's probably I hate to say it, but I think he might actually be a more talented actor than John Goodman. You mean the guy who plays
Ned Stark? Winter is coming.
No,
that guy.
No, not Sean Bean.
Which one?
The king, like he's the actual king.
Oh, you mean fucking Robert? Got it. King. Yep. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Drunk bastard gets killed by a boar.
Yeah. He's surprisingly, I think he's a better actor than John Goodman. He was struggling, I think.
He portrays a fucking turd boy in Game of Thrones pretty damn well. So.
I gotta watch Game of Thrones is what it comes down to. Because
the next move, like, or the other, like, Barney Rubble, so Rick Moranis in the 1994, downgrading to a Baldwin. I can't remember. Is it Stephen Baldwin is the blonde one? Yeah. Ooh.
Oh wow.
Ooh, good stuff. So you can catch us on Scener. I'm gonna have the Flintstones link put out on Friday, so you guys can check that out. Yeah, we're trying to put out content like at least a couple of times a week, so you can check us out. Let me bring up actually. So this week we had an interview with Smoke and Dank 5280.
Did I miss that?
Yeah. Well, so when we did the Pink Smurf interview. Yeah. That was a little awkward. Yeah, I didn't expect it because like
sitting here.
You weren't even sitting there. You were doing this. You're like,
I was fucking burnt out.
You were done. You were done.
Gonzo bananas, man.
So we got Smoke and Dank, and then this week, this is the only picture of her I could find. It's Tweety Expert. We're just gonna boost this up. We're gonna block us all out.
Full screen.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we're gonna full screen this.
You can block me out.
Yeah, here we go. This is Tweety Expert right there in the middle. We're gonna put it right in the middle. Yeah, Tweety Expert. So we're gonna have that not on a Monday this time. Actually, we're gonna do this on a Thursday because that is her open schedule. It's gonna be at fucking 9 a.m. Central Time. So. Catch that one later on iTunes if you want, or YouTube. But yeah, we're gonna be doing it. She is a Borderlands streaming machine. All she does is fucking play Borderlands and streams the shit out of it. Like, she kicks ass.
I fucking love Borderlands.
Yeah, she just plays different characters and goes. And I didn't realize, but like she has a side camera set up. She's playing in her dorm room, which is even more badass. Like, she's like literally just, she has her little, like her bunk bed over her, and she's got her green screen dropped and her legs are crossed, and she just streams like people. You gotta watch her. She's very entertaining. But anyways, we're gonna be interviewing her on Thursday. We got a lot more interviews lining up very fast, which is really, really fun. Okay, so we're going to bust into some Jamp nerdy news for this week.
That looks like good news is what that hopefully is.
Penny Dreadful is going to be... They're coming out with a Penny Dreadful sequel. A spin-off series called It's Penny Dreadful, City of Angels. It's set in 1938. It is set in LA, and it is about a Mexican-American folklore. That's what it's in, the social tension around that time. That's pretty dope. This is my favorite news article, actually, this week. Some scientists in Antarctica. One of them is the first charged for attempted murder in Antarctica because he tried to shiv the other guy. He tried to stab his ass.
Is it the one with the crazy beard?
I'm assuming the crazy beard tried to stab the other guy. But here's what the best part. The reason why he tried to attack him was because he kept giving him spoilers to his books that he was trying to read. Like, he was reading a bunch of American classic novels and the other guy kept spoiling him. So he fucking tried to stab his ass.
What a
because they're in Antarctica and they lost their damn mind.
The only two people up there, and one kills the other one.
He tried. He didn't get it, but he tried to stab his ass. He did, because book spoilers, which, lesson in life, don't spoil a good book, motherfuckers. You'll get shivved.
Don't do that.
No. Attack on Titan. No. They're doing a live action film.
Don't care.
That don't matter. Other than might care. They're doing a live action film featuring the director. What is her name? Barbara Muschietti?
I don't care.
I don't know.
I don't know who that is. That makes me feel good.
She directed It.
Okay.
So she's taking on live action Attack on Titan, which, as far as visuals go, I think from what I've seen pictures from the It movie, I think she's the right person to take on that because the visuals are very odd and weird. So, really cool.
I couldn't care less.
You've got lots more you're not going to care about here soon.
Great.
They're making a Deadwood movie. They're heading into production with the full cast right now.
No one asked for that.
No one asked for that?
Not one person.
I enjoy the Deadwood movie, or the Deadwood show, because there's so many creative ways to cuss. I did not know there was so many creative ways to cuss. My favorite, side note, my favorite rant is when he starts yelling at this one guy to, and I quote this, to shut that cunt of a mouth up because so many noises keep coming from it. And he said, there's no way. It's so dirty. But it's an amazing show. Like, that's what I love about the show is the creative ways to cuss. I've never seen any better way.
You know how I learned to cuss, Jay?
Your parents? Your dad?
Well, my dad had a hand in it. When I was 9 years old, on my birthday, my dad handed me a copy of South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut and a slingshot.
Nice.
Because my father understands parenting.
There will be no Doctor Who Christmas special this year.
I did hear that.
Yeah. Is it... Okay, you'll know, Drake. Is it Christopher Chin?
It is. I have it... the way when it's written down... It's Chibnall.
Chibnall.
You want it to be Chinball.
I do want it to be Chinball!
But when I get to my note card that his name is written on, everywhere his last name is written down, it is scratched out twice and then written correctly. And then possibly like a little SP circled in the corner because I'm not confident. Chris
Chibnall is, he's basically said they give a grand budget. This is where they actually spend all their money is on these episodes. And they just they don't have any more ideas right now for that kind of a budget. They're like, we just don't
have the minds to spend this money.
Yeah, they're like, we just the idea, we're out of the really badass awesome ideas right now, so we're just gonna put it off this year. So no Doctor Who Christmas special this year.
I think that they do. He said that he's not doing like old enemies. So coming up with new content is definitely a task.
Right. That is a big challenge. It's tough. Ewan McGregor has been hired to play the Black Mask in the Birds of Prey movie. Very, very good hire. That's an excellent cast. This movie's actually shaping up to be. I think it's going to be really good.
I want an Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Between episodes 3 and 4, starring Ewan McGregor.
Moving on to shit that Drizzt does not care about. Fortnite had a huge event last week that was about a cube. There might be someone out there. So there's this big mysterious cube that showed up around season 5. I don't understand how seasons or anything works in this.
You may as well be speaking Cantonese.
But anyways,
like a show. I don't even know what a Fortnite is.
Fortnite's a game.
A shitty fucking video game.
Well, it's a video game. It's a 100 PvP. But rather than PUBG or Black Ops now, it's actually free.
Okay.
So everyone's all excited about that. But what they have events and stuff, and they do like season content. And I guess one of the things is they had this mysterious cube show up near Leaky Lake. I didn't know there was a fucking place you could go in this game. But there's Leaky Lake you can go to. And like they had this big thing like the cube, something's gonna happen with the cube. So they all got around the cube, and the cube started like spinning. It exploded, and it sent them into like this endless void in the game. Whenever they reached the wall of the endless void, it popped them right back into the world. But if you go back to the cube, you go back to the endless void. So as far as something that doesn't seem to be very deep in content, like 100 player PvP, it seems like they're doing something, which is kind of cool. It's a mystery. It's like what does it mean? What does it mean? So I don't know. Everyone's pretty excited, and there's actually a lot of Twitch clips out there now of like, oh my god, did you see the cube? And like, this is me at the cube. I don't know.
The last time I got excited for an FPS game was when I figured out you could play Zork on the terminal in the first Black Ops.
It's not even FPS. It's third person.
Shooting game. It's
okay.
It's the same garden variety of regurgitated horse fuckery.
Listen, I will defend Fortnite for this very reason. They started as one thing, and they exploited something 100% different and became the top of the game. Like they went boom straight to the top.
I'm not going to argue their business tactics.
Yeah,
I'm just going to
it's
argue
fucking
their
genius.
Content.
I think their content's pretty genius too, because they get paid
people into an endless
they get paid
void.
Billions of dollars. Like they're getting paid so much money to like just selling off costumes and dance moves.
Yeah, TF2 did it too.
Can you believe how much money they're making? Yeah, there's dance moves.
This is about shooting.
So whenever you kill someone, you can do like or some shit like that, and they do some pretty complex. They even took one from Scrubs, which I got mad props for too. There.
Okay, I know every moment of Scrubs.
I've seen. They took a sweet Turk dance.
TF2 did all that like 8 years ago.
Yeah, except for TF2 was like how many players maximum?
14.
Yeah, 100. It's crazy. It's nuts. Also, the variety of characters in TF2 is far better. I'll give them that note, definitely. Midevil, and then I also put in here because so Midevil is getting the full Crash Bandicoot treatment. If you've ever played the Midevil game, I've not, but I know people who are pretty excited about this.
Yeah, it looks familiar.
But there's also this brings up another topic which I did not get a picture for. I'm sorry, I really should have given this its own graphic. But Warcraft 3 has been announced.
You gave Midevil a graphic, but you didn't give fucking Warcraft.
I was too lazy, but they got Warcraft 3 reforged, and so it's getting the Crash Bandicoot treatment. But it's this idea that they're not just like updating they're not updating to HD, they're reforging the whole thing. They're redoing all the character models, all the scenes, all the cutscenes and everything, which is cool. I mean, these things show that like that idea is gaining traction, that like they'll take these old games and not just like, ooh, looks a little better. Like they're taking time to craft it and make it a labor of love and make it look and sound a lot better.
You know what I want?
So
you know what game I want them to do that too?
What?
Halo 2.
I want Ocarina of Time. Well, maybe they just updated the graphics, but there is a Halo 2, like a Halo collection.
I want an HD full remaster of Halo.
I can't guarantee that it's a full remaster, but there is an HD Halo 2.
I don't want to talk about the Master Chief Collection.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the.
Do you want to see me scream at the camera 5 minutes into this, Jay?
Let's get past the news and then we'll drop that.
And then we'll have Drizzt screaming into the camera.
YouTube is possibly coming to the Switch as soon as tomorrow.
Neat.
Yeah, which is about fucking time.
Right now, the only streaming service they have on there is Hulu, right?
Yeah, which... Why? Why was Hulu the first to the line?
I think that with the Switch, you can ask a lot of whys.
Yeah, well, there's so many whys. YouTube was the most obvious first choice to put on there, though. It's a fantastic
fucking machine.
The fact that YouTube's not on there yet, though, is a damn...
But Hulu.
I'm surprised that
Hulu.
Yeah, but we need Hulu! Here's my theory. I think that Hulu is the only one that you can't download content from.
Okay.
Which then adds a complication. You can do that with a subscription on YouTube, which why not just turn that off? You can do that with Netflix. You can do that with Amazon Prime. You can actually download the content onto the device so you can watch it wirelessly, which is another thing that I think they need to get online on, because it would add, like, if they get in line and make that happen, that would add so much value to the Switch. You could watch Netflix on the road without Wi-Fi. That's...
How much space is on the Switch? I have one in my home, and I don't know.
It's like 20 to 30. I think it's 32 gigs.
Okay.
It's a very small amount.
That sounds very small.
Yeah.
Like, I just bought a PS4, and I got the terabyte, and that seems like a lot.
Christ, Jay, did you fumble your Switch or something? There's a fucking chip out right now.
I don't know. That actually, that was before I've ever fumbled my Switch. It's weird.
You fumbled the Switch.
You fumbled it.
I have
you
fumbled
don't want
my
to
Switch,
admit it to
but that
yourself.
is not a fumble. That is from I don't know what the fuck. Because I was on a road trip and I picked it up and I was like, what the hell?
Maybe it just got tossed around wrong.
Moving on. So the Super Smash Brothers Direct was last Thursday. One of the big things was they announced that Piranha Plant is going to be the added DLC character.
I'm mad about this a little bit. Waluigi
How is it
the
going
only
to
thing we've
move?
ever wanted.
It's a oh man, the video is pretty dope.
Does it just like slide around?
He kind of slides and jumps and hops and shit. And then there's even one point where you see him flying because he takes his little like leaves and spins them like a helicopter. It's nuts. Like it looks nuts. But anyway, so they added him as a DLC character, but only as a pre-order bonus, or if you buy the amiibo, yeah, the thing that I still don't care about.
Amiibos, yeah. I don't know
if you buy an amiibo,
I bought one. And it was Danky Kang for a friend of mine.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if you buy an amiibo, you can get him as well as a DLC character. But it won't be coming out until like 2 months after the launch of the game. They're just like, yeah, we just weren't ready.
Dude, amiibos are pretty fucking cool though.
They also announced Incineroar and Ken as new characters. Incineroar is like the last evolution Pokemon from the whatever. He's a giant tiger with boxing gloves. Obvious choice, I think.
Is that the starter in something like the final evolution?
Yeah, it's the final evolution
of the fire starter.
Is it Sun?
In
Sun and Moon.
Litten is the little one.
Yeah, and then he turns into Incineroar, which made me instantly not choose him because I don't like Pokemon that are similar to humans. It drives me nuts. I don't know why, but I'm like, he stands up, he has boxing gloves. It's fucking
You
stupid.
always do think with the humanoid ones, you're like, oh, they're 6'2", like a person. And they're like 4 or 5. Like,
oh yeah.
Incineroar looks fucking badass, and then they pan the camera out, and he's just like.
And then you realize he's not a lumbering giant.
He's pretty big compared to the other characters, I think. But he's got like wrestling moves and shit.
He's fighting fire, which I mean, we've only gotten a starter with that
1,000 times.
Yeah, well,
handful of times.
Charizard. I don't know. I was a little jilted. I want some water representation. I was a water kid when I grew up.
Fire has always been mine, but water's solid too. I can do whatever.
Water. And then they also announced the World of Light story mode, which has something to do with so they have spirit cards, so you collect them and you add them to your characters.
How fucking
to
much
give them
has
different
Smash
abilities
changed since I played?
Well, this is as they're trying to make this as big as possible. It's fucking crazy. But
Jesus.
The World of Light story mode trailer opens up with everyone keeps calling it the Infinity War moment because this light comes out and just fucking toasts everyone except for Kirby. Kirby survives, so
everyone's fucked except Kirby.
I'm assuming you have to start with Kirby and work your way unleashing all the characters.
Because Kirby is anytime anybody's playing with Kirby, I'm like, that's some rookie bullshit, dude.
Yeah,
anybody can look good with Kirby.
They're making
knock him out of the
Kirby.
ring.
Who did you play as in Smash? Who did you?
My favorite was Dr. Mario. I really like Dr. Mario, Link and then Dr. Mario. So as I started with Link. Yeah. But then, as the games progressed, and Dr. Mario showed up.
I'm gonna do the one that the only Super Smash Melee, if you remember, for the Cube. They had Ganondorf, and he's kind of tankish and very slow.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's so slow.
If you can actually freaking hit somebody, you throw him out of the ring.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I just play as a Pit or Or Samus.
Nice.
Kid Icarus is my shit, dude.
My buddy plays with Samus, and he rocks everybody's shit. We were all a little drunk at a friend of mine's like bachelor party, and we were at this barcade that had like N64s hooked up to all the TVs.
Yeah.
And I've got a fucking alcoholic slushie, and I'm just like, y'all gonna be ashamed if you lose to my drunk ass. And I was hoping it'd be one of those things where I'd be like a secret expert when I'm drunk. No, I'm still terrible. Mario Kart and Smash Brothers alike. But he whipped out Samus and just beat our asses. Hey, Chris, buddy.
What's up, buddy?
He hasn't seen you in so long.
How's it going, Chris?
Okay, so Willow, they're working on a Willow sequel, but they don't think Ron Howard is going to be attached to it. Oh. I'm praying that they're still going to have, I lost his name. He's gone. The guy who plays Willow.
That guy, anyway.
Nerdy cred. Taken. First look at Henry Cavill as Gerald? Gerald? In the Netflix series. He looks horrible.
He looks fucking ridiculous.
His wig is awful. He even comes out and he does like a whole thing where he's like, did you watch the video? It's terrible.
It's awful. It's bad. It's
so bad.
So, like, a few, like, design flaws with how Henry Cavill looks like as the Witcher. Bad.
Beard?
The hair
Where's his beard?
The hair is supposed to be white, not fucking gray.
Or silver.
Silver is the color of that hair. He's got. I for a second I was like, is that a Lego? Like a really weird looking Lego loss that we got going on here.
It's a terrible wig.
You know.
It's that kind of wig though.
Orlando Bloom would probably play a better Geralt than Henry Cavill.
You know what? I don't give Orlando Bloom as much credit since he did. What was that? The latest, the Hobbit trilogy. Only because like now he's got old man face where it's like he's still ripped as shit, but his face is fat from all the muscle, so it looks terrible.
But another thing, this is a weird thing to say about somebody who played fucking Superman, but like I watched my buddy Drew play through The Witcher 3 and the expansions. His jaw is not square enough to be It just fucking
Are you gonna have that? So I realized I had this unrealistic expectation. I was complaining about Barney Rubble in the Flintstones movie.
His head isn't square.
Yeah, I was complaining about him being played by Rick Moranis, and I was like, who the fuck is Barney Rubble shaped? Who's shaped like that? No one. And I think that's just, it might be the same thing. Like, people just, no one has that jaw. Maybe John Cena.
I was thinking...
I'd be so pissed.
Who plays Kevin James? I was going to say Parle, the mall cop dude.
You want Kevin James to be Gerald from The Witcher?
No, Barney Rubble. Barney Rubble.
Oh,
he's kind of little...
Kevin James can be Barney Rubble.
Sorry.
I just had a picture of Kevin James coming out with the wig, doing the same little drink thing he does.
Or the fatty. He's kind of got the fatty fall down routine.
You know what makes sense though is like it would make sense if he did it, because the way that Henry Cavill did it was so comedic. Like, it just seemed very comedic. You can see Kevin James doing that, and it's Henry Cavill doing his best Kevin James.
Fucking The Witcher isn't a hyper serious, super serious all the time serious video game. There are moments of comedy, like there's some like. There's some shit.
Are you voting Kevin James for?
Maybe he has range.
I am not voting Kevin James to play Gerald. But
I am. He got buff in Here Comes the Boom. I think maybe
did he really?
Maybe he gets like the further he gets away from Adam Sandler, the better of an actor he could be.
Yeah, he could be amazing in the Netflix.
Better.
This could be our Batfleck. Everyone was so pissed, but then he did a pretty good job. Kevin James, Gerald from Netflix. You're like,
fuck Ben Affleck. That's all I'm gonna say. Next slide.
Naomi Watts is being hired to play in the Game of Thrones prequel. This is more confirmation to me that there's going to be a Game of Thrones prequel. I thought that was not going to happen, but yeah, she's been hired. So they're wondering if she's going to be like the original Lannister or something like that. You know, just gonna pay her debts and shit. That's gonna be the whole show.
She's kind of mousy.
Naomi Watts paying debts.
She is kind of Mousy. She could be a Targaryen.
She doesn't look like she's about to sit on that pointy chair. I can tell you that much.
No.
I don't know who sits on the pointy chair. I don't know anything about the show, but it looks important.
It's a chair made of swords.
That pointy chair is what everyone's fucking fighting over.
It looks so fucking uncomfortable.
That is the throne they are fighting for. It's
you know how it's called the Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
That's the throne.
That's the prize when you win.
Okay, I've seen enough.
There's not really a game,
so I've seen the chair
murdering each other.
That's the game, man.
Oh, there we go. That's the nerdy news.
Oh,
some things that I didn't get to announce though. Oh, sorry, wrong button. I have to find the damn thing. The things that I did not get to announce though. This didn't pop up. What is that? J for president. Champ for president. Champ for president. We're all president.
The world's
where'd it
first,
go? So they announced Stranger Things is coming March 7th. I'm fucking pumped. Like, yeah, they just announced it today.
That's
like, Stranger Things is coming. I thought that Stranger Things was going to come out on Halloween next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I have almost a year for Stranger Things. And then I found out that it's like, I think that's under 6 months. Like, I'm fucking giddy. Like,
they were probably trying to squeeze it in like by October, and it just like wasn't gonna fucking happen.
For the longest time.
Well, I was expecting next Halloween. Like, I was expecting a long ass time.
But
like,
if you're gonna do that, then when they like take a year off, and I'm hoping this is what's gonna happen in Doctor Who, because if you take some time off, you got to come back strong.
Yeah. Yeah, come back swinging. But I don't know. I'm
for the longest time I didn't watch Stranger Things. I didn't care. And then I was sick in bed with the flu and bored out of my goddamn skull. I was just like, fuck it. I'll watch this thing with a shaven-headed child.
Well, I remember because we were living together at the time that it was out, and me and Lexi were like, "This show is amazing. You need to get on the bandwagon." And you're like, "I'm not watching a show about a bunch of fucking kids." Like, listen, guy.
I watched the first they had a 10-minute. It was just the first 10 minutes of the show, but they put it out on YouTube. It was the day that they released it. They're like, you guys should check out Stranger Things. Netflix popped it out. I'm like, what is this? And so I watched the first 10 minutes. I was like, this is going to be my life for the next week. And I watched it in 2 days.
It wasn't like it came out, and I like finding a TV show that has a shit ton of content, which is kind of why I'm waiting on Game of Thrones. Waiting until it's like,
once it's over,
and then I'll have all the content in the world to dive into.
There's so much fucking content in Game of Thrones. There's like 70 plus hours of content.
I gave up. So here's the thing. I gave up around season 2 because
oh, dude.
Here's the thing. Like,
gets great.
A lot of people so Game of Thrones has this weird thing where it makes all of the gross sex really they film it super well. They make it super sensual. Like all the sibling sex. Hot as hell. But then when it gets to not sibling sex, then it looks like it fucking hurts.
What?
Like there's one part where there's a lot of incest in the show. And they film it. And then they switch it over, and then you get to actual just people who are not related having sex.
Regular boning.
And this guy's just on this girl, and she's going and I'm like, that looks horrible. Like, I don't want to have sex right now. That looks terrifying. The way that they present it just looks horrible.
Get that sister back in here.
Let me see the guy getting stabbed in the face with a knife. God.
That shit was cool.
Dude, when you go from The Walking Dead to Game of Thrones, in terms of gore and special effects, it's not a comparison. Game of Thrones is far fucking better in every way.
Well, I mean,
whatsoever.
You can do a lot. It's on HBO.
You can do a lot with a lot more fucking money.
I also wanted to do a big shout out to Smoke and Dank. Immediately after the Pink Smurf interview, he actually made this layout.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, he's the one who made that. So he was like, "Oh, I did this for you. Here you go." What's Chris saying?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Don't worry about it. So Today we got some different topics that we kind of wanted to explore a little bit more outside of the nerdy news. We wanted to get you guys a little more in depth. As Drizzt said, we wanted to not just talk, we want to say something.
First of all, it's Drizzt.
Drizzt, I'm sorry.
DRI buzzing sound TJ. We've been doing this for over 6 months.
Are you making fun of my accent?
We're from the same place.
No, we're not. I'm from Grinnell.
I was born in Grinnell,
Are you born on Center Street? Shut up.
Anyway.
You have an Irish family, don't you? Yeah, I'm German. Don't make fun of my accent.
You know what the other 25% of my DNA is?
What?
Fucking German.
Yeah? Well, that didn't translate over to how you say your name.
No, because it's Elvish.
I'm fucking with you.
If you want to split hairs, it's undercommon, Jay.
What do we got?
What's going on? I don't care where Soka G is, alright? That particular person...
Talking about incest porn. Well,
peeves me quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Soka just does what Soka... Soka got a lot better over time.
Like, It's not that I don't want him here and I don't want him, like, participating. He just irritates the shit out of me.
He gets better over time. As long as, if you look past the whole fist me Jay shit.
Yeah.
He's a lot better. So, okay. Let's get into this. Dristy.
Yes.
So we want to say something a little bit more, though. We didn't want to just talk about stuff. We want to actually say something. So we each kind of picked a little topic that we want to kind of get into. The first thing, I'm just going to knock this one out of the way. So I did a little research. I named this Just Another Nerdy Podcast, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, what does nerdy really mean? Because it's this enigma. There's like a mystery to the term nerd. It almost seems like it's applied to almost anything now. And people are talking about how the idea of nerd is getting cool. Like everyone is nerdy. What? Everyone has their own nerdiness to them.
When did being a nerd get cool?
Well, so there's the joke about the idea that nerds become your boss and then the hot girls marry nerds now. I mean, that's a whole thing now. People are like, oh, that type of shit. It's this interesting shallow term. So when I Googled what the term nerd meant, a foolish or contemptible person who lacks social skills or is boringly studious.
Oh, that's not something sounds like you want to be, but like sometimes.
A single-minded expertise, particularly in the technical field. Those are the two terms. The origin is from the 1950s. I also Googled the term nerdy. Unfashionable and socially inept, or boringly studious.
Right here.
Yeah, or boringly studious. So this is getting a little closer, like just this idea of unfashionable, which is ironically becoming fashionable.
I'm gonna toss myself out your window, Jay.
Well, I mean, sit down and think about, go to a Kohl's. There's an entire section of nerd t-shirts that you can buy at $10 a pop. This is where I get most of my shit from. You can't see it because of the fucking microphone, but
other way.
Oh, yeah, you went definitely the wrong way the first time.
Stage right, Jay.
So anyways, this is where I buy most of my shit from. But it's this thing, there's entire sections at Hot Topic that's Stranger Things, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Those are nerdy things. But what makes them nerdy? So then so this idea of characterized as obsessive sticks with me, something that we obsess about. But it's interesting because I'm not obsessed with one thing. But if you talk about, I can get obsessed about one thing. I could talk about film all day long, especially when I was working at the movie theater, Drake, I've heard you can talk about Doctor Who all fucking day long.
I did it to Nate last night.
Yeah.
Just we got talking about something, there was the most, how old is Rassilon kind of a question.
Yeah. So this term of nerdy is getting into obsession. So then I'm like, okay, I need to look at other places. So I go to the Urban Dictionary.
That's a good start.
Yeah, I love that
nerd
website.
This one pretty much nails it. Okay, nerd does not adhere to social norms.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
You have an interest in something that is not popular, and that's it's becoming popular to be nerdy. So things that were not generally Doctor Who, especially during the 80s, Doctor Who was not cool.
Right? Well, I couldn't even. My uncle tried to get me to watch it, and the reason why I never watched it when I was a little kid was because I'd be like, but who's the doctor? And he's like, Doctor Who. And I'd be like, fuck you, I'm done! Enjoys learning. This is another one. That's a big one. I enjoy learning about movies. I enjoy learning about comic books and TV and movies. I think that's another big thing is like I enjoy the learning of something. This is my favorite one. The most dangerous people in the world. Because guess who invented nukes? Guess who invented nerds. Guess who invented guns? Guess who invented tanks? Fucking nerds! We're the most dangerous people in the world, motherfucker. The term was coined derogatory originally, but now it seems like it's less derogatory and it's more of an owned term. Except for we don't have our word nerd.
Dude, I could list awful, horrible things I was called in high school because of the way that I am.
Yeah.
And now all of the things that I'm doing are considered cool.
Yeah.
That's fucking strange.
It's interesting. Indicates retention of knowledge, so the ability to retain things. This is actually... So there's an interesting debate they had on there of... Fuck you, phone. Of geeks versus... nerds. So the term geeks versus the term nerds. So geeks are supposed to be more outgoing. However, nerd indicates like they have more intellect than geeks.
What about a dork?
They had that part and I just didn't fucking decide to read into that. Because I like the duality rather than adding more complications and shit. You called me out, damn it! Drizzt!
Fuck you, Jay.
Anyways.
Oh shit. This has been a...
Oh, sirens are going off. Okay. So I think it's really interesting. To me, the term nerd applies to something that you know a lot about. Something that you like to get intellectual about and want to learn about.
If you're willing to, like, pursue information on it, you are a nerd for that topic.
I do think this idea of socially inept is changing, though.
Hard disagree from this nerd over here. It's a miracle I can talk to you guys.
But at the same time, like, I know a lot of nerds who are able to, like, get out there and be social, you know? They're nerdy about things like cosplay, comic books. It's about finding that relation, you know? Like, that middle ground.
I've been at the place that I work, I have a wear stupid name tag, and mine has said The Doctor for the past 6 months. And you'd be surprised how many people say stuff. What are you a doctor of? Is what I get a lot. And then I try to do, like, I'm pretty sure one of the incarnations of the Doctor said cheese making. So I like to go cheese making.
Matt Smith, when they were trapped in the hotel with the Minotaur that ate people's fear.
Hey, there you go.
Retention of knowledge. Nerd of Doctor Who. See, that's where it's this idea of retaining knowledge over something, which...
What was that episode called? Praise Him, I think.
It's very interesting. It's a very interesting concept to think about that it kind of shakes me a little.
Why? Because
there are things that I thought I was nerdy about, and the truth is I just enjoy them. I may not be very nerdy about them. Like, you know, like Doctor Who. I fucking love Doctor Who. I love a lot of moments in Doctor Who. I don't know I could say that I'm a nerd of Doctor Who because... I don't know what you're talking about sometimes, you know? Like, I can tell you about the moment that I was watching Jack announce that he was the face of Bo. That made me lose my goddamn shit. But my knowledge is very shallow in comparison. So this idea that being a nerd means that something that you enjoy learning about, that you have this extensive knowledge. So we hope that in just another nerdy podcast, I think that we...
Do you want to hear a face of Bo thing that didn't happen that was, like... supposed to happen?
Is it the episode with Matt Smith where who's supposed to cut his head off?
Yeah.
Demons
Run. Demons Run when like silence will fall. Like it's the Demons Run episode, which is like the best Matt Smith episode, frankly.
Why wouldn't they? I don't understand why they didn't
was
do
in
that.
the United States or something when they needed him there.
Oh, was he doing Arrow or something?
Fucking that's actually in Canada, but yeah.
Oh yeah, that is actually that's in Vancouver. Yeah, they shoot all of them.
Supernatural.
They shoot CW is based out of Vancouver.
Is it?
Yeah, because the reason why Supergirl had Callista Flockhart in there when it was on CBS, and I think that was based out of LA, and then they had to move it to Vancouver. So all those actors and everyone had to move to Vancouver. Anyone involved had to move to Vancouver. Okay. And Callista Flockhart decided, like, hey, that's not my home. I don't want to be there. So she stayed back. It's either LA or New York. It's wherever the CBS studios are based out of. Okay. There's also a really funny joke because the lighting is different for CBS shows than they are for the CW. So whenever the Flash crosses over into the Supergirl universe, the first thing one of the characters says is he goes, the lighting's different here. Like, he makes a joke about it because they kept the lighting, but it's very particular. Like, each show has a very particular type of lighting, but like the Flash and Arrow crosses over because their lighting is far more similar than it is for CBS.
I love it when those. I'm not caught up on Flash anymore. There's some shit going on.
I'm way behind.
The thing about CW
the new season,
everything is garbage that is on the CW. Just complete trash.
Okay. But you have to enjoy the fact that they're able to try those things. It's a perfect experimentation ground where they can do some really amazing shit. For instance, have you even watched Legends of Tomorrow?
Oh, if you don't think that I've seen Legends of Tomorrow.
Did you see the season finale last season?
No, I didn't.
Oh my god.
That would be the one I'm by. That one, and I don't do Supergirl at all.
It blew my fucking mind, the fact that they finally got to this point in television that, like, this is some shit, like, this would be on, like, a random episode of, like, Power Rangers. Like, when the Power Rangers cross over the Ninja Turtles, that type of, like, they just did whatever the fuck they wanted. So they have this character they set up in the beginning of the season, last season, called Bebo. And Bebo was like this weird little stuffed animal. It's Tickle Me Elmo. And it kept showing up in random like cameos. Like someone had Bebo socks and there was like Bebo jokes and stuff. And at the end of the season, like they all have these totems that they have to like wear. And each one like a water totem, a death totem, a life totem, or not a life totem, but like light or whatever. They all had to wear a fucking totem, and then they have to hold hands and they like beam into the center, and they have to focus on making their own totem to like spawn up and fight this giant demon played by oh my god, what's his name? He's in Fringe.
Did you say anyone of them?
What?
I thought you said demon played by and I was gonna say if you say anyone other than Dave Grohl, I'm leaving.
It's not. That would be sweet if Dave Grohl showed up.
Like in the Satan.
Yeah, he played Satan in the Tenacious D movie.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I'm clearly not nerdy enough.
It's been less than 2 months since I've seen the Tenacious D movie.
So, anyways, there's a demon played by I can't remember his name. He was in Lord of the Rings. He was in Fringe. He I don't know. He's just the old man from Fringe. But anyways, he plays the demon. And so this giant demon fly, and someone like loses focus, and they just start thinking about Bebo. So the totem turns into fucking Bebo, a giant stuffed animal Bebo. And so there's a fucking throwdown between a flying giant demon and Bebo. And there's a part where Bebo grabs the demon and suplexes his ass.
Only on CW can you get away with that.
So that's the thing. Like they have this playground of do whatever the fuck we want. Like we're CW. We can literally do whatever we want. And they did it. They had a fucking giant stuffed animal they set up at the beginning of the season fight a giant flying demon. Yes, I know the look on your face. This sounds terrible, and it is. But thank God we can do that, because then it leads to other cool stuff. But also, at the same time of it being terrible, it was fucking awesome. It was so cool.
Like, absolute fucking lunacy. It's like
that's the best part.
It's like in Ghostbusters, when they accidentally thought of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Right? And oh God, it turned out so well. So... Thank God, I will defend the CW because it does terrible shit, but it also does cool stuff. It is trash garbage.
Yeah,
but it makes awesome trash garbage. It's shit that you like. I've
unexpected
caught up on
stuff. All 97 seasons of Supernatural. I'm all the way caught up to the latest episode. which is strange because the latest season is just god fucking awful.
I haven't even started. But it looks like they skipped past the whole Dean as Michael thing.
They kind of like roll onto that, and then I can spoiler some stuff for you. If you
I don't. Oh, yeah, we'll throw up the. Hang on. Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, so like in like the second or third episode of the season, Dean's back. Michael's gone.
Yeah. Why was that not a major plot point for the whole season?
And like it just
crypty.
It's just, you know, the same supernatural fucking bullshit. Obviously something's going on. Like it's like when you're watching a movie or a video game and there's a patch of wall that's different and you're like, clearly that's the direction we're going. Clearly with Jack with he's the Nephilim or whatever.
Oh my god. I've yelled at you about this before.
You've yelled about it on the show.
Oh, I've yelled about it here too.
So why don't we move on? So I think I want to save the big show. I think I want to save that for the end.
Okay.
Is that all right? So I think we got to move on to Drake's topic.
Okay.
I think because I've gotten nerdy out of the way. I feel actually we should probably leave this up because are you going to get into the new Doctor Who spoilers?
I mean, yeah, a little.
He brought notes.
I have notes. What's beautiful about my notes is they're written so poorly that they're like basically written in code.
I wrote...
What is that nonsense? Like I said, every time I write down Chinball, it gets scratched out and rewritten.
Christopher Chinball.
I don't have any fucking notes. All my notes are up here.
I get you.
That's rookie is what that is. Also, I was like, I had my laptop and I was making notes. And I'm like, I don't have a printer. How would I get my laptop here?
You could literally actually bring your laptop if you want.
That's the beautiful thing with a laptop.
Yeah, I can set you up a table.
I'll write down some terrible notes.
Or you could use your laptop.
I did it for Tommy when he had his laptop. Like, I used to set him up a table just to make it work. But anyways.
But so, like, so I'm looking into, like, the new season of Doctor Who is what I thought I would, like, dive into. So, like, obviously, they, like, the whole way that the Doctor regenerates, you get kind of like a fresh start with a new actor. But we're getting even a new showrunner. We got.
Yeah, this is brand new.
We're in the midst.
Who's the last showrunner? Was it
Stephen Moffat?
Yeah, well, I mean, so when did he start with Matt Smith?
He was working in Doctor Who all the way back in like '86 with the movie. He's been in Doctor Who writing in the background for a very long time.
But he became the showrunner with Matt Smith, didn't he? Okay, that's what I was thinking because I was like, we haven't had a good reboot since Matt Smith, which some people didn't like it. I liked it.
Matt Smith, he's like definitely not my favorite, but
he's my ironically like I started with Christopher Eccleston. I still think Matt Smith is my Doctor. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, because he's so fucking kooky. I love David Tennant. I think David Tennant's awesome. He's a good middle ground. However, Matt Smith is off the hinges. Like my favorite part about Matt Smith is when he says is dinosaurs on a spaceship, which is a lot of people's least favorite episode. I love that because they're like, why are you so happy? And he's like, dinosaurs on a spaceship.
That episode was actually written by Chris Chinball.
Really?
I have it written down right here.
I enjoyed it.
Dinosaurs. I saw it scratched haphazardly across the page. Dinosaurs on spaceship.
They turn water into wine. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I don't mean to.
Dude, you're totally fine. So like Chris Chinball, so I just wrote like he was also a writer on Broadchurch.
Okay.
Which had David Tennant and Jodie Whittaker on it. So.
Oh yeah, it did. She was on both, wasn't she?
Yeah, there's actually a funny story that I've heard about. David Tennant was talking to Stephen Moffat, and Stephen was like, "The next Doctor wants to call you. Is that cool?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's awesome." So he's like, "How will I know who it is? The next person who calls you will be the next Doctor." So he sets his phone down. And then, like, he's like, what if his mom snuck a call in there? Like,
yeah, I was like, I really hope it was his mom.
And he's like, Mom, I didn't even know you were up for the role. But it was Jodie, who he knew from Broadchurch.
Okay. That's sweet.
Yeah. But so he also he's written several episodes of Doctor Who, which is like Dinosaurs on a Spaceship and Power of Three. And I think A Town Called Mercy was also him. They're kind of some lighter episodes.
Yeah.
Which is like something that I would note. He writes lighter stuff. It's more kid friendly, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. Chris. I think Tooth Monster will haunt my dreams for the rest of my fucking life.
Tim Shaw?
Yeah, Tim Shaw. This is the best character.
I was watching it with Nate, and I was like about to leave the room to get a drink, and I paused it like right on him, and he was like, "Who's that guy?" And I was like, "Tim Shaw."
It's Tim Shaw.
It's Tim Shaw. Get with the program, Nate. That's Tim.
Not Tim. How you doing?
But also, if you've ever seen the Matt Smith when he was with Rory and Amy. There was like some minisodes, like the Pond Life minisodes. I don't know if you saw those. It was generally like them just missing each other, like the doctor rolling in and they having to be leaving.
Oh.
Or like they're trying to get a hold of the doctor and they're calling like his phone and he's not in the TARDIS, and so they're leaving like messages, and like they're kind of sweet. A lot of them are kind of sad, but all of those were written by Chris Chibnall as well.
That's awesome.
So he's definitely like had his foot in the door of Doctor Who for a long. He also wrote on Torchwood.
Ooh, oh yeah, I remember, because they're trying to get
it's Doctor Who with swearing and blood.
Yeah, they're trying to get Torchwood back.
Yeah,
and he like he's in charge. So John Barrowman's like, hey, like, can we get this going? And he's like, we'll see. Like,
wouldn't it be nice if they could bring John back into Doctor Who?
Well, see, that's all I want is a cameo. If I had a cameo, I'd be happy.
It could just be like they walk into a room and it's like a bar, and Jack just like peeks out from around where the doctor's standing and smiles at the camera, and then just slowly slides back behind him, and you don't see him again.
Dude, that's a lot of money to spend on John Barrowman to get him to do that.
Right? Yeah.
I'm sure if you asked him nicely, he would.
Yeah, he actually would, probably.
Pay him $300.
Or I always like to start the joke that Rob Riggle. He will. You can get Rob Riggle to show up at your house for $200.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm trying to get that rumor started. I've been working on it for years.
Shit.
Like, if you call his agent, he answers the phone, Jesus Christ, it's ringing. And he'll do anything. You just gotta feed him, give us $200. He will fly and hang out with you for an afternoon. I assume you have to get him stoned. I assume with Rob Riggle, that's a part of the deal.
That would be pretty sweet, actually.
Have you seen his face? Just the kind of person he looks just like.
Any role or shitty movie Rob Riggle has done.
He has yelled the phrase Kobayashi while pretending to gobble an imaginary cock.
That's the pinnacle of...
that's the pinnacle of mankind.
That is I think the highest point for his career. Probably.
Can we get Rob Riggle on the podcast for $200?
I bet we could.
I would spend that myself and defend it with my wife. She would fucking murder me.
Chris is on it. He's spreading the rumor.
Dude, I've been trying to get it started for a long... Because it sounds believable.
Speaking of, so this is awesome, by the way. So you know how we found out that, like, we're like, oh, Chris, we'll give you the honor of being a moderator, And
yeah.
So then he's like, I do that on several people's channels and shit. And I'm like, that's fucking cool. Chris is just this enigma that, like, he's way cooler than he seems sometimes. Like, on chat, he just kind of seems like, like, I'm not saying... You're bad, or I would assume you're a nerd for being on here.
Well, yeah.
But you just end up being fucking cooler, and I'm just like, so I had that interview with Pink Smurf, and Dank was in on the chat, and then I'm like, oh, we're gonna do Dank next week, and so I'm popping in like watching Dank. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see what Dank's up to. And Chris is on the fucking chat. He just goes, hey, Jay. Like, what are you doing here, Chris? And he's like, oh, I watch him now. And I'm like, yeah. And Jack's like, yeah, Chris is part of the team. You don't know that? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, sorry, had to go on this Chris rant of how awesome Chris is.
He is.
You don't even know it. Like,
he's our most loyal fucking follower.
He is. He's so loyal. And
You're
I thought,
here
like,
every fucking week.
So my thought was like, all Chris does is watch us. Like, it's just that stupid egotistical thing. And then you find out that Chris has a pretty extensive life outside of here. Like, he stops in for an hour. He's super cool. He's here for everything. However, he's off doing other cool shit. Like that's when you find out like that the minor character in a TV show has a rad life outside of the show. You know, it's like skydiving every weekend.
Watch him kickflip his longboard over a Lamborghini and a fucking speedboat.
And you're like, what the fuck?
I didn't even know you could do that.
They're like, oh yeah, I have other things going on in my life. Sometimes I think we take you for granted, Chris. I do apologize and just say I appreciate you. Anyways. Let's get back to your topic.
Okay,
I'm so sorry.
Like that's everything I actually wrote down on Chris Chinbull. Just say I took good notes. I can barely read them, and there's a lot of scratchy out here.
Well, so to talk about like this show, like what do you think so
Okay,
far?
like through the episodes I've seen, I have like a note card on this one too somewhere.
Oh, okay, we're good.
Okay, like I have just like notes. Okay, so like there's the first episode was The Woman Who Falls to Earth, which like is the first episode with Jodie. And like the first episode with like Chris Eccleston, like the Rose, did say, like roped me into Doctor Who. That was a good one. But the first episode with David Tennant, I fucking hated New Guy.
Are you serious?
As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Fuck this dude!" Like there's a little deleted scene that is Rose right after he regenerates, saying she wants to go home, which is why he takes her home because she doesn't want to be with him anymore.
Oh.
And during that, the first time I saw it, I was like, I'm fucking with her. I'm out with New Guy. But by like the end of the first episode, he chops off the dude's hand. And
that's what sold me, is as soon as he chops that guy's hand off and he turns around and he goes, "This Earth is defended." I'm like, I'm in.
The David Tennant's my favorite.
No second
he
chances.
won my heart by Tooth and Claw. Which is like one of my favorite episodes, which is like the second or third episode of season 2.
Which one is that?
It's the one where they're with the Queen at Torchwood Mansion, and there's a werewolf.
Torchwood gets started.
Yeah, it plants a lot of seeds, and also David Tennant does his actual speaks like with a Scottish accent.
Okay,
which is pretty to hear.
Delightful.
But so then the second episode is Ghost Monument, which is mostly about trying to find the TARDIS.
Oh yeah,
and so I like the TARDIS. So when it's not like prevalent in the episode, I'm like, we need the TARDIS. I feel defenseless without the TARDIS, right? Doctor.
You can spoil all you want after this, but I will let you know that is the last episode that I saw. Okay. I haven't had time.
The very, very next one is Rosa, and it's about Rosa Parks, and it is the best fucking episode.
Is it? Okay, so here's my problem. I have trouble with historical pieces.
This is done pretty well.
I'm sure. I was like, when they told me that the next episode was going to be about Rosa Parks, I went, ugh.
I did too. I cringed, and like I felt like I had to watch it out of social obligation, just a little
Drake,
bit.
You know how I feel about that. It's from what you've told me, I haven't seen it yet. They do it well, and you see the prejudice and the hate. But if you're gonna do that, do it balls to the wall, exactly like it was. Make it as horrible as fucking possible, and then make the Doctor fix whatever situation they're in.
I like it. Right at the beginning of the episode.
But that doesn't sound like Chinball style.
No, he's
not that heavy, man.
He's like, yeah, you say he's like kind of light.
He's writing a kid's show, unfortunately, for a lot of it. And I do like the darker stuff, but Rosa's good. Rosa is an amazing episode. And I saw like Rosa's good, and then they have one about arachnids, which like you finally get a scarier one, which was kind of before Halloween. So it was like kind of spoopy.
Okay.
Spiders.
Look out for they were giant spiders, and there's also you haven't happened to see Sex in the City, have you?
Jesus Christ.
Do you know who Chris North? He's also on Criminal Intent, Law and Order.
As you see, I think I know who you're talking about. Is it Mr. Big?
Mr. Big. He actually plays Donald Trump character.
I worked at the
Doctor
awesome.
Who.
I worked at the movie theater when they had Sex in the City 1 and 2 come through. And so I know all about Mr. Big.
I have seen every episode of Sex in the City and the movies. I don't mean to brag.
Would you say that you're nerdy about Sex in the City?
I happen to... Have you ever seen the Patton Oswalt stand-up special when he's talking about how he doesn't know anything about My Little Pony and then talks about My Little Pony for 10 minutes? I don't know anything about Sex in the City, but I could talk about Sex in the City for 20 minutes.
Is this... So let's talk about... we have to run into this side tangent.
Please don't.
How did you get into... Sex in the City?
My little brother watches it, and I can literally watch anything. And, like, I honestly, Carrie Bradshaw, like the Sarah Jessica Parker, like the first time I saw him watching it, I did like the South Park. Why is that transvestite horse eaten with Matt, who is her husband? Ferris Bueller, whoever Ferris Bueller.
Oh yeah, Matthew. So,
but
I expected like this story to be like, yeah, my parents watched it or my mom watched it.
No, my little brother does.
You're like, I just don't expect it. I'm sorry.
I mean, everybody has different taste.
Yeah, no, honestly, I get you.
The writing,
it's out of left field. That's all.
There's like, it's I don't know if you know shows that like, the whole show isn't great, but it has its moments. There's a moment in the show where one of her friends is like, she finds her doing cocaine in the bathroom, and then she's yelling about how boring New York City is, and she says, "I'm so bored I could die," and then she falls out of like a 30-store window to her death.
Should we? I don't know if it's on Netflix or not, but I'm thinking, should we get on? What is that? Should we get on Scener and watch all the Sex in the City?
If you make me watch all of Sex in the City with you, I will kill everyone on this planet and myself.
Drake's in.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. Drake is down for some Sex in the City. Okay. So what do you think about the new companions?
I actually...
No card.
You'll notice nothing's on the back. I could have done this more concise. Also, I wanted to bring attention to Bull Moose. You're supposed to see that, and you're supposed to be like, "What's that, Drake?" And then I have a bunch of Theodore Roosevelt facts. Because I have a funny thing that I know that you don't know. I got a buddy who can do a Theodore Roosevelt impression. But you probably want to know about Bull Moose, which we'll get to.
What is happening?
That is the greatest Theodore Roosevelt impression that you'll ever hear. It can only be really loud.
I can only do the voice when I'm screaming, and it really hurts me to do it.
This comes with a little story. We used to work at McDonald's together. We actually still do, but we left and are now back. But
okay, yeah, I get it.
At McDonald's, there's 45 minutes worth of work, so most of it is fucking around.
Generally.
Stupid, but I eat like 37 cheeseburgers a shift. The fact that I'm not 9,000 pounds is really staggering.
Yeah, because I eat like one cheeseburger.
But one day, our boss, April, scheduled Nate to work a day shift, which he doesn't work. And Nate thought, "You can make me show up, but you cannot make me not be Theodore Roosevelt." So he walked in doing that voice. He was just in the kitchen shrieking the entire day. And, like, I got there later and I'm like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "We had to send Nate home. He wouldn't stop doing the Theodore Roosevelt impression."
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
I also narrated the first 5 minutes of Pokemon with Professor Oak as Theodore Roosevelt.
God, is that all it takes to go home? Is just to be fucking obnoxious? I should try that at work.
I wasn't even doing my job poorly.
I should do that at work tonight.
Effectively, if you start doing a super loud Theodore Roosevelt, they will send you up.
I don't know if I could wait tables like that. Just, what? Would you like pie?
No, it's more in the back here. They're like,
oh!
There you go.
Yeah! That's who it was. It just that someone was. Went to McDonald's that one day. Chris says he was there.
I have done that recently. I have screamed about Theodore.
I love being on the counter and I have customers and they're like, "So what the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Well, we just have like a man chained to the grill back there," and he kind of like wallers.
So that's what you mean? I'm chained to the grill.
Yeah, I also sing while I'm at work.
I know that. You have a whole spoopy story about that.
I get customers asking me what's going on there too, and I use the term warble. I don't know if you know what warbling is.
Give a melancholy fry cook back there.
It's very sad to be in the kitchen.
Sad day.
Oh shit. So now that we're... Is there any more that we can talk about on the Theodore Roosevelt thing?
Oh, dude, I have some
more.
fun.
Some fun facts.
So I have some facts. I started writing them down, and then I ran into something, and then that's what's on the other side of this card. Because so he was the youngest president at the time. He was a 42-year-old person when he became president. He ran for president also so he was president for a little bit. He was president, and then he didn't run, and he sat out a year. And then he came back and he said, I'm running for president in the Bull Moose Party. And I can't fucking... You're like, what the fuck is a bull moose? And I looked it up as well, because that's interesting. So the bull moose, it was the Progressive Party at the time was called bull moose, because it sounded of strength and vigor, which is how the two words that Theodore used to describe himself.
Can we redefine the Republican Party as the Bull Moose Party now?
They're not cool enough.
They're not progressive.
They're not
either.
cool or progressive. Oh, okay. We could rename them later. Anyways.
The Bull Moose Party does sound...
We'll call them the Turd Sack Party. Sack of turds.
So now we know something, too. We're not just talking. We're definitely saying something about Bull Moose.
We've learned, we've changed, we've grown.
If you're like, but Drake, did we get a Bull Moose president? We didn't. He lost that time. He was president before, and then he was like, oh, I don't want to be president, or he lost. I'm not a history buff.
I'm assuming he lost if he ran.
I think what happened was he was actually up for vice president. And he got elected, and the guy in office before him was,
died,
dead. So he became the president, and blah blah blah.
Spoilers for Theodore Roosevelt's life, by the way.
Yeah. If you were taking an American history class, fuck you. You don't get to finish your text. You
don't get to finish your text.
He was shot in the chest.
Some Antarctican bastard will fucking shiv you for spoiling his text.
Theodore Roosevelt was shot in the chest, but he had a book right now in his breast pocket.
Oh wow!
And it actually slowed the bullet down enough to where it wouldn't kill him.
He was giving a speech when it happened, and he finished his goddamn speech.
He finished his 3-hour speech with a bleeding chest wound.
How far into the speech was he when he was shot? I wonder.
Not very.
Let's start our own government party called the Bull Moose. Who should be the leader when we start it? Chris, you.
I've always said, like, I've been recently, because of elections, to been talking politics, but politics is nuts, and anything you say, people are like that, like they boo-hoo you. So I just like to say stuff that is nuts. Like, we should instill a fascist government and make me the leader. For sure, I could do this.
I'm down.
Okay.
No one's gonna vote for that, and you hear that, you're like, Drake, your politics are nuts. That's not my politics.
It's
just what I like to say.
I mean,
I wouldn't be the first.
Yeah, you wouldn't be the first, buddy.
I think that, like, I could seize power in a way that is very violent, and they're like, oh, he's gonna rule with an iron fist, and then be super chill. Like, I don't really give a shit what you do.
It's like you get to your throne, you're like, all right. Marijuana's legalized.
We're locking up.
What?
That's the only thing I wanted, actually. Fuck the rest.
I just wanted weed. Let's make McDonald's a church institution. Tax breaks. Tax breaks to McDonald's. They pay your employees more.
If McDonald's could take, something that I've ran into is people try to pay with McDonald's with, food stamps or EBT cards, and I'm like, oh, honey, I don't want to have a conversation about you about how EBT works, but you can't pay for food with EBT because it's government money, and otherwise McDonald's would be just getting a fat check.
So the EBT rule is as long as it's not prepared. So
is that what it is?
You can buy a cold chicken at Walmart. That you have to cook yourself, but you cannot buy a rotisserie chicken because it is already prepared.
Okay, so could you go to a Papa Murphy's, like a take and bake pizza place?
I actually think that's, you know what?
That's worth a Google.
I think that's worth a Google.
I think you can.
Okay, Google. Can you pay for Papa Murphy's with EBT? ?
Here's a summary from NPR.
If you have food stamps, you can only spend them on food that isn't charged sales tax. Oh.
Papa Murphy's, the supersized chain version of Patty's Pizza, has locations in 37 states, most of which don't tax, take, and bake.
Oh.
No.
Oh, so you can.
Nice.
Reason to go to Papa Murph's.
Yeah, Papa Murph's will take your food stamps, son.
Hell yeah.
Smoking Dank for president. I would vote for Dank. Dank is fucking awesome. Dank's got like this man beard.
Oh, dude. Me and Nate like to hang out outside of here a lot. Or Drizzt. It's my bad, dude.
It's alright, buddy.
Me and Drizzt like to hang out outside of here. And, words. We were talking about. I've been calling Beard Dude Bong Lord for the entire week. I don't know if you know who Bong Lord is.
Jay, let me inform you.
I don't, but the name alone is fucking awesome.
So Bong Lord is a man of the old internet.
old
internet.
He's probably dead now.
What he would do is he would pack bowls and bongs and just scorch the whole thing in one go, chug the bong water, exhale, and then the video would cut.
It is beautiful up until he chugs the bong water, and then you're like, no, this dude is nuts.
Bong Lord.
Just because you can doesn't mean that you should.
The best part about the Dank interview was like, and it sucks because the audio was not turned on. I had an audio issue right away, but I'm like doing the intro, no fucking sound. I'm just like, and I can hear everything that's happening through his Discord, and then I can hear what I'm saying. So I'm doing the intro, and I just hear, like, that's my best like bong hit impression, but just. Like, he's just hitting his bong, like, in the middle of the interview. Like, this is fucking amazing. Like, I was like, this is going to be gold. And then it didn't translate. And then he never did it again, the whole thing. I was like, fuck.
He just needed one fat bong rip to help him with his anxiety.
Yeah, well, he was like, he sent me a message, like, a half an hour before the interview. He's like, I'm awake, I'm up. I was like,
I swear.
I didn't think you weren't.
I didn't think you weren't.
So do we have any more on Doctor Who to talk about? Like,
we got distracted because I had a weird card.
Yeah, we went from Doctor Who to fucking Bull Moose.
Sorry, I have
Theodore Roosevelt and sounds that I did not expect. I was like,
so just all that I have to remark on is what's also new to this season on Doctor Who is we have like a TARDIS team.
Yeah.
There's like a group of motherfuckers up in this bitch, and I know that like it's bigger on the inside and it's infinitely larger, but it seems crowded.
It used to be that way though. Like
yes.
You used to have 2 or 3 people minimum. Like one companion was like
that's very intimate because I think back in like the 60s and like the 70s, an older man taking around one younger woman around. That seems peculiar.
Yeah.
So they probably were watching that, but if it's a couple, like that's less creepy, I suppose.
Yeah. It's interesting. And I'm surprised they're not having her take a guy around.
There's actually Bradley Walsh is like a guy who's older and he's with her. And there's a couple of moments, like especially in the Rosa episode when they're in, Montgomery. And I should be able to tell you the year, but I can't. So, but he's talking to someone, they're talking to someone like a cop, and Graham puts his arm around the doctor like he's married to her. And the doctor makes this amazing, like, facial expression. Also, Jodie's, face is so expressive.
Oh, yeah.
I like that about David Tennant, too, but Jodie's even more. You can definitely, see. If you watch her eyes, I've noticed when she's, they're constant, scanning everything. Which the other characters don't. I thought maybe it was a camera issue. Because the BBC is known for not having any goddamn money. Yeah.
Well, apparently they spent it all on their Christmas special. Which I don't, yeah. Anyways.
Which has always been
do you feel like they murked the wrong grandparent?
I like the elder Nan. I should be able to tell you her name beyond Nan.
I think Nan is fine because they murked her. So who the fuck cares what her name is? She's murked from the beginning. I saw her and I was like, that lady's dead.
They started. And they were this is kind of a collection of motherfuckers.
Because I was like, Grandpa. Okay, so Graham is still around.
Grandpa.
Yeah, and then there was the girl and the guy, and I was like, I've seen pictures of all of them. I'm like, but I haven't seen a picture of her. She's fucking murked.
Yeah,
killing
Ryan are the other two.
Yeah.
What are their names?
They're gonna die. Or she's gonna die. They survived, which maybe not invest in any of them.
I guess, especially when you have Stephen Moffat at the helm, maybe he should have done something like had an entire crew because he loves killing people off.
Oh yeah,
like a couple of characters that he could have just been like killing and bringing back.
Wouldn't that have been incredible? Just people getting murdered. I mean, they did it with what was his name? Was it Danny in the Clara season?
I hated that character so goddamn much.
You hated that character? I love that character.
Danny Pink? Oh, fuck Danny Pink.
Danny Pink was meant to die, and he was meant to break your heart.
He was built to break. That was the only thing he was there for. Break.
I liked it, though. But I made jokes at the beginning that he was like Ricky. Ricky, Mickey, Licky, Bicky, Bitchy, whatever the fuck his name is.
Mickey, and then the alternate universe.
Fuck Mickey, okay?
Mickey ends up with Martha.
I like that.
Which I think is the most racist fucking shit there is.
Like, hey, black person, have you met the only other black person?
Oh, who did Mickey marry? The other black person. Fuck you guys. Martha deserves way better than that little bitch.
I will concede that point. She really does, yeah.
She deserves so much better. The only reason why they were together in the end is because he's fucking black.
Convenience. It was convenient, and so they were like, this'll tie.
Fuck you guys. I'm sorry, but no. Martha deserved so much better. You know what? Here's my opinion on what they need to do with Martha.
What's that, Jay?
Martha should have been put on Torchwood.
She's on an episode.
Yeah, and then she should have stayed.
They something that they were like definitely trying to do is you can like something that like that is a thing is Jack can be on Doctor Who, but the Doctor cannot be on Torchwood.
Well, it's this idea. It's this weird idea, and they have the same thing with like Disney Marvel characters. So they wanted to make Venom rated R, but they didn't because of the possibility that it might cross over with the Disney Marvel Spider-Man. The idea that this rated R character could cross over with a PG-13 character was dirty. Why the fuck can't that happen?
Have you heard about PG-13 Deadpool?
Yes.
I just yell a lot. Yeah. You can't PG-13 Deadpool.
They're going to. It's interesting.
It's a cash grab.
I mean, definitely. Well, anytime they make a movie, it's a cash grab. What's that?
Fuck that shit.
Anyways,
you can't be Shirt Wiener in it.
Like, but that's the same. That's the equivalent to that idea. Like they can't have this family character Doctor Who is essentially the PG-13 zone of BBC television crossover with rated R television. It for some reason doesn't make sense. Why? I don't know. I don't know.
I will say that unfortunately having the Doctor in it has brought me to watching things that I'm not happy about. Like I have seen so much of the Sarah Jane adventures.
I watched one episode and I fucking stopped.
It is not good.
It is not good at all. What is not meant for you and me, it is meant for children.
That is like there's an episode where the Doctor, like Matt Smith, is on it, and he fakes it. They think that he's dead. It kind of tunes in line with what was going on with the Doctor Who season at the time.
Yeah,
where like, it's not a spoiler because it's been out for a while. The Doctor gets shot, and you think that he's been killed by River, but it turns out to be.
I mean, it's cool. We got spoilers up here. We're good.
This season was released years ago. I think.
Yeah,
this is like if I say that Dumbledore dies. I don't think that at this point.
I had so many people pissed off with me when I had my original like YouTube channel because I did a review of the last Harry Potter and it was titled Harry Dies, and people were like, "That's a spoiler," and I'm like, "Yes and no." Like, really?
The book has been out since a long time.
Well, and it was he does, but he doesn't. Like
it's
the part of Voldemort that dies.
There's absolutely no way to really quantify what happened in Harry Potter in a fucking YouTube title. Like,
no.
Harry Dies was a joke.
The ghost sliver of Voldemort's soul that was embedded in his fucking brain died while he was at a King Cross fucking ethereal station, and then his soul got to go back and kill the rest of Voldemort.
That's the new podcast title, by the way.
That's it. That's all of it. That's what we call ourselves.
So we've talked a little bit about the crew. I personally think Ryan is his name.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of boring.
He's a very flat character.
I think
I've seen a lot of that.
I think it's weird that they're trying. I almost feel like they're trying to push him and is it Yaz?
Yes. It's a very
almost feels like they're trying to push those two together, and I really don't need it.
The whole season is, and I wrote a little bit down about this, and I'm trying to like find a way to talk about this that's not make me seem enough. Because usually when you start a sentence with, "I'm not a racist," but you about to say something racist. But they're like doing a diversity thing, which is great. I love diversity. But when you're like jacking yourself off on it, look how diverse we are, guys.
I mean, you know what? I saw it, I noted it, and I moved on. Personally, here's what I think. Okay, I think Yaz is put in there as a thing to detour away from the idea of Ryan and the Doctor being together.
Okay.
I feel like they put her as that buffer, so then people aren't like, oh, when is Ryan and the Doctor getting together? Oh, is Ryan and the Doctor getting together? Personally, in my opinion, that's just leaning on poor writing. I think you can write a healthy platonic relationship between two people. I think that's something the Doctor Who has suffered from even since Christopher Eccleston, though, too. This idea of Rose, like, I thought it was kind of icky.
Like, I remember talking to someone, I started dating a girl who was into Doctor Who, and she was like, yeah, I think that Rose and the Doctor are, like, dating and having sex. And I'm like, I don't.
They push it, but I don't think they're dating and having sex. But I think they love each other.
Times, like you can love a person and like show a little physical affection and it not be.
I think they absolutely love each other, but I think it's this, and I think they're trying to avoid that in this season. And I think that the sexist part of that is because she's a woman. They're trying to avoid it because then that makes it icky, which I thought it was icky from the start.
That's what I wanted when I heard there was going to be a female Doctor. I'm like, give her a male love interest if you give her anything.
Or don't give anyone a love interest.
No, how about the Doctor doesn't get a love interest that is human?
Let them travel through space and time and fuck shit up.
I like that. I mean, how about we get another River song, but a male form, but have them be fucking awesome and actually focus the show on them. The River thing was a cool idea, but we didn't get enough River. Like,
have you seen the Husbands of River Song?
Yeah,
it's a Christmas special, which usually suck. But,
yeah,
like
they spent all their money on it though.
I liked that one was a good one.
But it's this idea, like, look, wouldn't that be a great idea? Actually, John Barrowman's probably way too fucking old now. But like John Barrowman would have been a really cool like love interest for the Doctor at one point because. And John will fuck anything, or like Captain Jack will fuck anything.
Yeah,
like
hey, he's a 25th century man.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll fuck anything, which is cool. But like that would be more rad, or have a character type of that, like because I mean the truth is he's not straight. Like John's not straight.
No,
you can't be straight in space.
Yeah, so.
But like, are you saying the actor John?
You could create. Well, yeah, the actor John is not at all. Jack is. Fucking anything sexual.
Pansexual.
Yeah, Jack is pan.
The closest word you can come to.
So they could create like an archetype character though. Something that's like River or Jack like combined. Have them be as rad as the fucking Doctor and have them do adventures through space. How cool would that be?
They kind of do some, I don't know how much you've seen.
Something inhuman too, because this idea of the Doctor and humans, I don't know. So to me that's just icky.
Have you seen Peter Capaldi? Like especially with Missy? I really liked Missy. Who's like the lady master.
Oh yeah, that was so cool.
I like what they did with that.
She's in Sabrina.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she popped up. I was like, sick. When she popped up, I was sold. But anyways, I don't like the idea because the Doctor is so much more than a human.
And to just like sex, like why does everything have to be about sex? Like why do we have to like?
Yeah. Why can't two people fly around together in space and time without wanting to fuck each other?
Like the Doctor and Donna's like relationship, like he's like I just want.
The perfect example we just came off of the Doctor and Billy.
Yeah.
Relationship wise, like that's like how it should be done. You have this character who, I mean. She's gay. She's not into the Doctor at all. He's also old, you know. But you have this older man flying with a hot young college girl, you know, and hot is being like subjective. Like it's your opinion, but like You know, I thought Billy was pretty hot. My own personal opinion.
Was that about Billy Piper? Or are you talking about Bill?
Bill!
Bill is also a character, and she is gay. Okay, I was going to say, there's also Billy Piper, who she is, I think she...
Who's Rose?
Yeah, Rose.
Yeah. No, Bill.
Bill, okay.
Bill is... Perfect example, though. Completely platonic relationship.
And any hints towards they should be together, and she makes a weird face at the doctor.
And shuts it down.
What was that thing River said about the doctor?
Oh, you can like fall in love with a sunset. You can love a sunset, but a sunset can't love you back. You can't love a monolith, is what Rose said in The Husbands.
This is great because you guys know way more than I do, so we can have an actual open discussion.
Yeah.
But that's just my own opinion. I feel like that was Taz's thing, but I think that is an example of weaker writing.
I will say that I'm not like I love Doctor Who, and
Yaz.
I will continue.
I just called her fucking Taz, didn't I?
Close enough.
I wasn't gonna correct you. Were in the ballpark, and that's it. Her name is Yaz, and I like the first exchange that she does with the Doctor. She's like, my name's Yasmin, but my friends call me Yaz. And then like in the very next breath, the Doctor calls her Yaz, and she's like, and we're friends now. And then she was running. She had just fallen like into the train. If you've seen that first time.
Oh yeah, so that's the thing. Like this show, I think is going to lean a lot on Jodie because Jodie's extremely talented.
She's extremely talented, and I will say that I was going to mention earlier. I think that like with the whole diversity thing, I think that like almost like with like affirmative action, she got the job because she's a woman, not because she was qualified, but she fucking was. She's very good.
She's amazing. I just personally think the rest of the cast is about as interesting as wet paper.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. If Ryan dies in the next one, I'm not gonna be like, God damn you, Chris, killing off characters that I love.
Ryan has the personality of a damp washcloth.
Yeah. Well, and Graham is ridiculous. Like, he fucking, the first episode he's in, he's like, always talk to bus drivers. And what does he do? And how does he solve the entire problem? He goes and he talks to bus drivers. They have a scene in that show. They have a fucking tooth monster running around and a giant, what is that Pokemon that looks exactly like that? There's a Pokemon that looks just like that thing. Anyways, a Tangler or something like that.
Tangela?
Yeah, Tangela. There's a fucking Tangela running around and a tooth monster named Tim Shaw. And they take time to put out a scene of Graham talking to bus drivers. Couldn't we have just, yeah, Graham's talking to bus drivers. Graham comes back, like, yeah, I talked to the bus drivers. Nothing happened. We don't need that filmed!
And there's always with Billy, like she was always wanting to use like tech. Like she's like, couldn't we use like advanced tech and like use a scanner and search for advanced tech, which they could have done and found the goddamn Tangela. And they could have found Tangela, but we didn't have the TARDIS. Or she builds a sonic screwdriver, which technically breaks the continuity of same software, different case. This is a brand new Sonic. What happened to the
That gave me so much anxiety. The Doctor not having a TARDIS or a Sonic. And then the Doctor makes it Sonic, which I was like, the Doctor can just make a fucking Sonic screwdriver? Like anytime the Doctor wants to?
It's mentioned that he invented the the Sonic, like back
maybe,
in the classic.
So maybe that's them wiping out the possibility as well, is because they had the when the three Doctors met, they ran a calculation through the Sonic from one Doctor to the other. Yeah. Maybe that's them just saying like that's past, like we're putting that behind us. We're putting it all behind us.
Starting brand new. With Doctor, you can't start brand new with the Doctor Who, but
that's not possible. There's so much.
I like the background lore, but I am glad that we're getting rid of the the overpopulation of old shit. Like, I do not need the Cybermen.
Or Daleks. Anymore. Like, we've seen solid Daleks, Cybermen.
Yeah, they've been...
I could do some Weeping Angels. I think we could, like, look into where the fuck they came from.
Yeah!
Fuck that is.
You have your theory.
What? I think that's what happens to imprisoned Time Lords. Time Lords that commit acts that are so heinous they can't be kept alive. They get thrown into the untempered schism and become weeping angels.
Is it because there's the
when Gallifrey comes back,
and,
he mentions the two women to his side as the weeping angels of old.
Yeah.
And then they cover their faces, and then they get tossed through time again.
Where did that go? Where did that plot go? Why the fuck is that gone?
All of what Rassilon says when before the Master, slam jams Gallifrey back to the end of the universe, completely irrelevant. We don't see him again.
There was a
very long time.
There was an entire 3 seasons. They could have explored that. They could have explored because they had was it Tom Baker? Tom Baker was. Where the fuck did Tom Baker go? They're like, oh, Tom Baker, like he's like, oh, sometimes I throw on a different face. I'm sorry, what? And then they just left it. It was like,
well, it's we don't like when the Doctor needed more regenerations. We don't know how many he got.
Yeah,
and I think they're gonna use that as a.
Well, it's now the show goes on forever, and people aren't going, there's only 11. Like they're out now because they threw in a Doctor in the middle.
And it's been vaguely implied that they only gave him another cycle, and so we're gonna have to find another.
We don't know how many regenerations River Song gave him when Matt Smith was dying from the juice of the Judas tree.
Yeah,
it took all of hers,
but we don't know how many she had. Yeah. Or the timing of it.
To save his life, it took everything she had.
I would just fucking throw that to the wind. Honestly, my own personal opinion, just like he has unlimited.
Fuck it, it's retcon.
Yeah, retcon, he has unlimited. If they did it, they should just commit to the fact that they did it and stick with it. Fuck that.
They kind of have to, yeah.
So, most important question, what do you think of Jodie?
Love her.
I do too.
So I have I have it written down.
He's busting out the note cards.
It's all up here.
Oh, okay, he's got it up here.
They could be blank, and I could just be like that guy. But she's from a town. I now have to look it up because it's all about her accent. If I can find the right goddamn card, that would be great.
Yeah, is her accent the same, or has she modified it for the show?
I think this is just the way that she speaks. She's from a town called Skelmanthorpe is what it's called. But she is a shat lass.
Doctor. A what?
A shat lass. And you might be like, what the fuck is that? So, where she's from in Skelmanthorpe, there used to be a mining village, and they used to get slate, and they used to shatter it.
Okay.
And instead of calling them shatterers, they called them shatters. So, so in the town, everything was shat everything. There's shat
everything
pizza,
was
shat taxi. She's a shat lass.
Shat. Pizza shat.
But that's kind of where her accent is.
Where is that geographically? Where is Scalthorpe or whatever?
So,
geographically,
more north than London, presumably. But the further north you go, their north is like our south. If you can,
how do you spell that?
Scalthorpe.
It's SKELMANTHORPE. There it is. Yeah.
Where is Skelmanthorpe?
Okay, let me.
Huddersville. Where the fuck is Huddersville? I don't know geography.
We got a nice whoosh now. Whenever we do that.
Oh, we got a fucking. Whoosh.
Huddersville, UK. Okay. Maps.
Where is Huddersville?
Where's the Huddersville? Ooh, I like that street view right there. That's cool. So if we zoom out, Skelmanthorpe. So we're on the dot. We're on the dot, and we're going back a little bit.
I'm trying to find it. Okay, it's north of Sheffield. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's in the term of the UK.
In the heart of the UK.
We're looking right here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're right in the heart. She's from the heart of the UK. That's dope as shit. Okay. Anyways, I just wanted to look that up for fun. Oh shit! Did I? I dropped us a viewer. We gotta go back to Twitch.
Oh no.
Here we go. Just another nerdy podcast. Boom. We're back. Okay.
Our viewership.
Yeah. No, don't tell people that. Even though I did.
You literally just admitted to it.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So Right. My personal first impression when I saw her was that I felt like she reminisced of David Tennant quite a bit. Like she reminded me very much of David Tennant.
I would say that, obviously they work together, and she wanted to, like I was saying, wanted to call David. Just like that was the first person she kind of told was David.
Yeah,
because who fucking better to ask Doctor Who advice from than
the Doctor?
The reigning supreme too. Like
everyone's favorite. Like,
yeah,
I dislike that he's my favorite in that it's everyone's favorite. So
I know.
Everybody's like, "Who's your favorite?" And I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna say David Tennant, and you're gonna roll your eyes.
I just enjoy that.
Something nerdy. Like I also love John Hurt for the little bit of John Hurt. If we could have gotten,
he was
more
incredibly enjoyable.
I fucking love John Hurt.
They could have had a whole series on that. Is John Hurt still alive?
He's dead as a doornail, dude.
He died.
Dead as disco.
Well, damn it. Okay, guys. I think it's time. I think we have to move on to
the thing.
We gotta move on to the thing. Oh, before that, I actually just want to do a quick shout out to Twitter. We're over 100 followers now on Twitter.
Oh, tight.
I've been working on it, and it's now getting to that point where it's like self-sustaining.
Shit.
The Twitter just keeps growing without me doing anything, so that's awesome. It's dope as shit. Outside of just regular tweeting, but holy hell. Like, we went from, I think, like 30 some to like, we're at like 105 right now or something.
Nice.
It was 109 last time.
We're almost famous, guys.
Yeah, we're almost famous. Also, tomorrow I'm going to be on a podcast. Tomorrow night at 11, I'm going to be on the Taz Hole podcast from a guy named Taz Hole.
Taz Hole.
Yeah, he contacted me on Twitter. I've seen some of his videos. We'll put some links in the video description down below for YouTube and for the podcast description that you can check out the Taz Hole. He's got a lot of subscribers. The videos aren't gaining a lot of traction, but they're doing all right. So I'm gonna be right back, though. We are gonna be right back. We are going to we're gonna prep for this. So we're gonna be right back. We're gonna come back with Drizzt. Dristle.
You want to feel how hard I can punch?
No, I don't. Sorry. We're gonna be back with Drizzt. I'm trying to say the Z.
Opening statement. Where you're going.
We're gonna be going back. We're gonna be debating Sabrina the Teenage Witch. The Church of Satan is suing Netflix.
They sure are.
Which
over
is
copyright infringement.
Because a very similar thing happens in the television show.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be right back. So we're gonna get right back because I have to do a little prep real quick. I'm sorry, I'm blocking your shot. So today we are here discussing the lawsuit of Netflix's Sabrina versus the Church of Satan. Each of you have come to debate the topic of whether or not this lawsuit should stand. State your positions.
I think that they used
Louder, son!
I think they used the visage and copyrighted image of Baphomet in a way that is disparaging to the Church of Satan. Therefore, they should face legal repercussions for that.
Okay, so the first thing is Jesus. I probably shouldn't say Jesus right now, but jeez.
Why? What?
So Drake's trying to get his stories together here. So the first thing is, technically speaking, Baphomet. There is 2 iterations, or like drawn representations of Baphomet, and first off, there's 2 like churches of Satan. Which they kind of compete against each other. So
one of them is wildly more popular than the other.
Wild one is, yes. And so the one that I assume, Nate, is the Leviathan. Leviathan. Whatever. I don't read. I'm not a lawyer.
This doesn't seem like a strong position.
So legally, in the terms of legally speaking, the form of Baphomet that they used is not copyrighted. Technically speaking.
In the world of technically.
In the world of technically. They're fighting, the lawsuit is fighting for copyright laws.
Alright. So, we will start with you, sir, since this is your argument.
Alright.
You will have 3 minutes to state why you feel they have a legal stance to be able to sue Netflix over the chilling adventures of Sabrina.
It's really weird watching that mask move up and down with your face.
Right?
It's clearly...
I'm made to be unsettling! Enjoy it!
It's a children's Halloween mask.
It was $4. Alright, start now.
Alright, so basically, the Church of Satan was started in the mid-1960s by Anton Sandor LaVey, and it is called Satanism purely for the intent to piss off fundamentally religious people, mostly of Abrahamic or Judeo-Christian values. So in that, they use a depiction of Baphomet, the deity of balance. It is both a man and a woman. It is both light, it is dark. It is man, it is beast. That's kind of the whole thing. It's a duality of human nature, and the entire central core of Satanism is realizing that Satan, or the devil, or whatever you want to call it, is nothing more than man's innermost animalistic nature, and overcoming that. The way that Baphomet, whether or not it is the exact copyrighted material, was used in a slant of devil worship and witchcraft, which the Church of Satan has been fighting against that perception of them for over 40 years. It's slander. It's taking a recognizable symbol that they are associated with on a level to basically no one else, and saying this is related to this other thing that they are completely not. And that Anton Sandor LaVey, up until his death, made a very potent point to make sure people didn't think that they were devil-worshipping lunatics. Not to mention, there's another facet of Satanism, which is Luciferian Satanism, which is Judeo-Christian standpoint. They actually worship and, pray to the devil, as Christians see it. Anyway.
Is that the end of your statement?
It.
All right! I have to reset my clock because I set it for 3 hours and not 3 minutes.
I was gonna say, I've been watching that ticker and it don't make no sense. Like, you've got a long ways to go, buddy. You didn't put a dent into your 3-hour timer at all.
In hell, we tell people that they have 3 minutes and then we make them talk for 6 hours.
That's very rude.
That is hell. That would be hell.
It is horrible.
It's the fucking...
No one likes that much public speaking! Except for, I don't know. Okay.
Theodore Roosevelt gave a 3-hour speech after he was shot in the chest, so...
And then we made him do it again. 6 hours! Alright. Sir, you have 3 minutes. Go.
Okay, so the problem here is that the branch of Satanism, because there's obviously like the 2 branches. There's like your Levian Satanism, which is unfortunately kind of the little brother. Has always tried to like make a name for itself outside of Luciferian Satanism, and they're actually known for. They have a lot of pending lawsuits going on right now. They sue everybody because they don't have any fucking money. But I mean that. So also on the note of legally speaking, so there's a rendering of Baphomet that the Luciferian Church of Satan uses, and this Levi fella took it and added tits. And you might be like, Drake, you're using hyperbole. He did more. He added boobs. It is the other one with boobs. And that is the one that Sabrina the Teenage Witch used. They used the one with boobs. So that's the group that's pissed. And it happens to be the group that sues all the time. You
would think if there's such a clear distinction, they would be able to pick the right fucking statue.
That might be. I need this card. Yeah, I threw it. I threw it to like prove a point. Maybe I'll just. You know what? I was going to have like a giant stack of cards and just constantly be thumbing through, but half of them were going to be blank.
Is that the end of your statement? Are you still?
I mean, I will say that they probably shouldn't have used that one statue because the other one probably wouldn't have sued. But they don't legally own it, so they can't. They can't. Once they get copyrights to it, we can talk. You know, like then sure, yeah, we legally speaking cannot use it, but until then, they don't actually have like a legal foothold. I don't think.
I would like to disagree with that.
They're gonna sue him for slander.
Yes. You will have your moment in your rebuttal.
Rebuttal.
In hell, it is everything that is mispronounced.
That's gonna irritate.
He's trying to get the word brutal thrown in there. It's a
brutal.
It's a re-brutal.
It's a re-brutal. I can't say.
What's it even a word?
I can't say it on purpose.
A re-brutal.
A re-brutal.
A re-brutal. It's fuck it. Are you? Your time's almost up. Do you have anything
Okay,
else
I
to
think
say?
that that's going to do it for me on that one. Yeah.
Okay. Stop. Reset. Are you prepared for your rebuttal?
Yeah. So, like I said, I would like to disagree with you.
All right.
I would like to calmly disagree with you on that because, like I said earlier in my opening statement, it is an image that is associated heavily with the Church of Satan, and it is being presented in a way that is exactly not what they're about and what they fervently disagree with on a fundamental ethical level. That is slander. So they do have legal footing to sue because they are misrepresenting an icon of their belief.
Which is just I probably shouldn't interrupt, but I have...
Rebuttal!
Rebuttal.
Do not rebut the rebuttal in the rebuttal process! Rebut up!
Rebut out.
Do you have more to say?
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He knows when I'm done talking.
When you're ready.
Okay, so first off, I would say that the first church very much wants to not have the image of the church they broke away from. And sure, they have a hard time breaking they want to not be the Church of Satan, but they want to be called the Church of Satan. They need to look into rebranding and maybe not taking the other person's picture, adding boobs, and they're like, this is a new one! We made this one! If anyone uses this one, We will sue. I mean, they could just like Sabrina the Teenage Witch could just, or not the Chilling Adventures of, but similar there too. Add tits and they're fine. Remove the tits and are they fine then? Is it cool then if they remove the boobs?
I personally wouldn't have any problems with it.
I mean, I think that people are still going to associate that figure with the non-Luciferian. Levian. I'm going to remember that word. I have Levi written down several times just because I didn't want to write the whole word. But if they're having such issues and need to be suing all the time, it seems like they could put their energy towards a different image.
Which I won't disagree with.
They're putting their money in the wrong place would be my argument. And first off, I haven't said this yet. Sabrina the Teenage Witch is a fucking pop television show. It is pop, and it is meant for the masses, and they certainly were not going after a specific branch of the Church of Satan.
But wouldn't you think that as it is a pop television show, that association that some people would have, the he said, she said, this is what that's from, they look into it and they automatically think they're devil worshippers because the general fucking public doesn't read.
That's true, and I will make the point that it is getting fucking harder and harder to find a group of people that you can just, randomly villainize, other than Nazis.
I mean, you could fuck Nazis, first of all. Just hands down, flat out, Wolfenstein already did it. Fuck Nazis.
You can make fun of a Nazi, though, and even Nazis are like, well, they're not going to stand up and defend themselves.
There's no wrong way to beat a fascist.
I can't disagree with you.
Exactly. Thank you, Satan.
I think that rebuttal's over.
I think so. It's looking that way.
We've even gone into cross-examination territory there for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to look at it from each other's sides there for a hot second.
We're pretty understanding and we like each other.
Yeah, you guys turned this whole torturous debate thing into fun. What the hell?
I was trying to throw some note cards for a while, but I like one.
Being all friendly and shit with each other. That's not how debates work. You have to be all theatrical and big and
I could have worn
dickish.
A suit from the top down.
Yeah.
Not all of us.
You have to yell, "Don't interrupt me!"
Not all of us went to theater school, Jay.
But you're all on a podcast.
It's about
you can tell which one went to theater school and which ones actually study things. You guys brought knowledge and facts, and I brought a fucking mask and a stick.
If I would have had a mask and a stick that I thought were applicable, I would have brought a mask and a stick.
What is Chris saying before we go further into this?
You can't take this seriously with Jay's outfit or the way he's talking. It went from the fiery hell to a circle jerk quick. Fuck off, Chris. We're just trying to exchange ideas here, man.
They're just being friendly, I guess.
Jeez.
In hell.
I could have gotten, angry, thrown some cards.
I don't like to scream at people's faces most of the
time. That's bullshit,
Unless it's a camera.
I was gonna say.
I don't get up in people's faces in my daily life and scream as loud as I can.
You're not supposed to get up in his face and scream, but you're supposed to
have a chest full of hate and a mouth full
of yelling.
A chest full of hate and a mouth full of yelling.
Otherwise, is my coffee cup a lie, Nate? Is my coffee cup... People come to my home and enjoy hot refreshment with your face on it.
Did you fucking buy that thing?
He's going to.
It will be at my home. And I will be serving liquid refreshment.
I kind of want the leggings, honestly. The leggings I should have worn for this is the leggings with Drizzt's face on it.
The beach towel is nice. I'm thinking about putting that on all of my furniture.
There's also a wall tapestry.
There is.
Okay. There's just the default options.
Yes. I really want... if I have a child, I will put it in your onesie.
Please don't.
Its face will haunt the parents.
Your kid will grow up and find an old box of baby clothes and who's this lunatic on my onesie?
You're on the Drizzt!
Why does it say...
Do you not know?
On my childhood onesie, why does it say I have a chest full of hate? and a mouthful of yelling.
And it's spelled correctly, so I know you didn't make it. But I did! With further review from Drizzt himself. All right, back onto the final statements.
All right, final statements.
Up to 3 minutes each. Make your case or lose it.
Okay.
Nate's gonna yell at me.
All right. So, I will concede you the point that they are not under any copyright infringement, though I will maintain the slanderous remarks and, representation of an icon that they are closely associated with. I think legal repercussion should continue and is almost necessary. Not completely necessary, but, representation is a big thing, especially when you're trying to, get your brand out there. Rebranding is a little hard when everyone thinks you like to worship the fucking devil.
Yeah.
So, the end. They suck.
3 minutes. Okay, so if you're going to invest, so this Levi fella, his form of Satanism,
Anton Sander LaVey.
Whatever. If he wants to rebrand, going by the same name of the church that you left is not a great tactic to take.
He's very dead. He's been dead since October 29th, 1997.
Yes, but when Jesus started a new church, did he call his people the Jews? No, that one was taken.
The Jews too. Jews in the city.
Jews too. Return of the Jews.
You need to stop right now. And I do actually have to bounce. So, who won?
I did not know you had to leave. I apologize.
It's fine. We lost track of time.
Okay. The one thing I did not say before we started this debate, we're going to go by which law? You are guilty until proven innocent.
I'm getting thrown into a river, I think.
We're going to tie your hands and feet, and if you don't survive, you're human. And if you do, you're a witch.
So the problem being is there's no actual, outside of slander. So copyright infringement is out the window.
Yep.
Which was what I was first under the impression of.
That's what I was
argument being was copyright infringement.
They don't actually. That was one of the things that...
There doesn't seem to be a copyright infringement there because, you're talking about... Well, first of all, I don't think they have a copyright. I don't know if you can copyright... A few questions that I still have is, can a church even copyright a symbol? Can you copyright Jesus or the cross? You can probably copyright very specific transformations of that. So It is interesting, the idea that they threw tits on it, because that does make it
their own.
Slightly their own and copyrightable, but that has been thrown out the window. Now you have the issue of slander. 2 points. One, they never go to the point of actually saying, we are this specific branch of the Church of Satan. And there being 2 branches, it does become an interesting factor of there being at least, or now 3 branches. Also, they branded themselves after Satan and saying, don't call me a Satan worshiper, even though we're called the Church of Satan. That's just a side note on my end. That's not a legal thing.
That's actually really interesting footnote on why it's called the Church of Satan. Back in the early to mid 60s, churches were starting to get real fundamental, because free love and all that jazz. People were starting to, understand and trust each other. So naturally, religious fundamentalism was going to kick up again, and they wanted to start going to churches and talking to children about Jesus. And Anton was like, if you can do that, I'm going to come to schools after you do, and I'm going to talk to them about Satan.
I mean, it's kind of the same idea of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Exactly. It's the same concept. It's keeping the idea of separation of church and state in check with a violent backhand.
However, I don't feel that we addressed the topic of slander enough. We did focus a little too much on the topic of copyright infringement and the reason of why they have tits.
Also, just for the record, not good tits. Glossy tits.
Slander's not quite... slander, because we're going by witch law, though, we haven't proven itself innocent well enough at this point. So I dual rule on the side of the Church of Satan.
For the record, that was the good guys. That was the good guys.
The Church of Satan were the good guys in this story.
Okay.
So I
just have one last thing I want to do real quick. I want to look up this picture. Oh, now that the debate is settled, because I put it on our Jamp page, the actual picture of the thing.
Baphomet.
The Baphomet. I do not remember seeing tits on this thing, so
I tell you what.
The news article used the wrong fucking picture.
No, this is what I'm talking about. This is the actual picture of the Baphomet from the scene to which they used. There are no tits.
They're titless, in fact.
So I think that would have been...
That's the thing about the tits is that they're more like pronounced pecs than they are tits.
Mm-hmm. The creature is supposed to be androgynous. It's man and woman. It is light and dark. It is man and beast. It is balance itself.
So are you saying that the other Baphomet
is flatter chested than that?
Flatter chested than that.
It's flatter chested,
and that their trademark
has more
is hinged on it having pecs
and has
over
so.
It has more like hair
exactly
going. It like the depiction of Baphomet I was shown when I was a wee boy in my church. It was
good catch.
It was Baphomet sitting cross-legged with each arm out this way, horns on the head, and just like solid goat head with hair going down the shoulders and into like the V section of the chest. And at that point, it was like a point of departure where you could or could not construe the pecs as either very small breasts or very pronounced pectorals moving into a satyr-like lower body.
So I think the thing that would have maybe have won this is the idea of the argument, because my personal belief is that there's not enough there in the sense that this is a transformable figure, and it's already transformed from one sect of church to the other.
Yeah.
That's my own personal opinion when it comes to pure legal rights. Outside of that, I mean, I get what they're saying.
Total dick move.
I get what they're saying. I don't think Netflix's Church of Netflix Sabrina, I don't think they fucking thought about it, honestly.
It honestly probably did not.
I hope that the next season might address that issue and maybe make amends. And I think my own personal opinion, whenever it comes to lawsuits, I think that should be the goal. I don't think money or damages should be the issue.
I agree.
I think they should be suing for change.
Yeah, fix it.
And maybe if they do that, it'll be a good thing. But that's just my note on the whole thing. Because I've been thinking about this all week myself, and I'm like, I wonder. I'm very interested. But yeah, okay. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to see you guys next time. Remember, so we're going to be back on Wednesday. On Thursday, we are going to get together and we are going to, Thursday night, I'm going to be doing my Tazhole interview.
You're a Tazhole.
No, so this Thursday, I'm doing my Tazhole interview. The next Thursday, we're going to do an interview with Tweety Expert, and we'll be announcing the next interview after that. I have several interviews lined up, so we're good. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Again, follow us on our social media. Our Twitter's blowing up. Facebook is actually very active. We do a ton of shit on Facebook. And then, if you just feel like listening to this later on, feel free to download it, put a little nerdy in your pocket. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, all that shit. And then you can also, watch us live every Wednesday on twitch.tv/justanothernerdypodcast. And you can just watch the rest of it later on YouTube if you're not able to catch the whole damn thing. So, thanks guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Hail Satan.